Hi, I'm Blair. I'm a single mom with a marketing job that barely pays the bills. But my kid means everything to me. My son Leo is 10, super bright, and usually the happiest little guy you'd ever meet. At least he was, until about 2 months ago. Mom, do I have to go to school today? Leo stood in the doorway, backpack hanging from one shoulder, looking down at his sneakers. What's up, buddy? You love school. I was packing his lunch, turkey sandwich with the crusts cut off. I just don't want to see Miss Winters again. That was the third time that week he'd mentioned the school counselor. Leo had been seeing her for what the school called enrichment sessions for gifted kids. But lately, he'd been coming home quieter, less confident. Did something happen with Miss Winters? He shrugged. She says I talk too much, that I'm showing off. She says I should let other kids answer questions even if they're wrong. I frowned. That doesn't sound right. After dropping Leo at school, I decided to check his backpack. I know, privacy invasion. But something felt off. That's when I found the notes. Little handwritten cards from Miss Winters. Remember to stay quiet today. Your ideas aren't always the best ones. Sometimes being smart makes others feel bad. What the hell? I immediately called the school and scheduled a meeting for that afternoon. Thanks for seeing me, Miss Winters. I sat across from her desk, notes in hand. Her office was weirdly bare. No kid drawings, no toys, just certificates on the wall. What can I help you with, Mrs. Evans? It's Miss and I found these in Leo's backpack. I placed the notes on her desk. Can you explain why you're telling my son to basically dim his light? She glanced at them dismissively. Leo needs guidance on social integration. His intellectual abilities create barriers with peers. So you're telling my gifted kid to act less smart instead of teaching the other kids to appreciate differences? Your son has an attitude problem. He's disruptive. Disruptive? He's been coming home practically mute. Miss Winters stood up, her chair scraping loudly. Many parents struggle accepting criticism about their children. This isn't criticism, it's emotional manipulation of a 10-year-old. I think we're done here. Her face was getting red. We're not done. I'm taking this to Principal Davis. I want Leo out of your sessions. That's when it happened. She grabbed her chair and literally threw it at me. It crashed into my shoulder before I could move, knocking me against the wall. You psycho! I screamed, pain shooting down my arm. School security arrived within minutes. Miss Winters was claiming I'd threatened her, but my throbbing shoulder told the real story. As the nurse checked me out, all I could think was, if she'd do this to me, what was she doing to my son behind closed doors? This wasn't over. Not even close. Nobody hurts my kid and gets away with it. 3 days after the chair incident, my arm was in a sling when I marched into Principal Davis's office, demanding action. Now, Blair, I understand you're upset, but let's not blow this out of proportion. Principal Davis leaned back in his chair, fingers steepled. Miss Winters has been under tremendous stress lately. She threw a chair at me. My doctor confirmed I have a sprained shoulder. She says it was an accident. The chair slipped when she stood up. Slipped? It flew across the room. Are you seriously defending her? He sighed. We're handling this internally. Miss Winters has agreed to attend anger management. I left fuming and called my best friend Charlotte, who works in HR at the school district office. That's complete BS, Charlotte said when I met her for coffee that afternoon. Let me see what I can dig up on this Winters woman. You think there's something in her file? People like that usually leave a trail. Give me a couple days. When I picked up Leo from school, he seemed hesitant to get in the car. What's wrong, buddy? Miss Winters said I shouldn't talk to you about our sessions. She said it's private. My blood boiled. Leo, you can always tell me anything. Always. He fidgeted with his seatbelt. She makes me sit in this special chair when I act up. It's in the corner facing the wall, sometimes for the whole session. What does acting up mean? When I answer questions too fast or use big words that make other kids feel dumb? Has she ever touched you or hurt you? No, but she whispers really mean things sometimes. Like I'm a show-off and nobody likes know-it-alls. I gripped the steering wheel so hard my knuckles turned white. 2 days later, Charlotte called. Hit the jackpot. Winters worked at Lakeside Elementary before this. She resigned after multiple parent complaints. What kind of complaints? The records are sealed, but my friend in their admin office says it was about inappropriate disciplinary techniques. She apparently made a kid with ADHD stand in a corner for 3 hours. Jesus, why did our school hire her? That's the sketchy part. Her references were glowing. I'm betting they're fake. I spent the next week talking to other parents. Melissa, whose daughter also saw Winters, agreed to meet me at the park. Tina started wetting the bed after her sessions, Melissa confessed while our kids played. When I asked what they talk about, she clams up completely. I recorded our conversation with Melissa's permission, and 4 other parents shared similar stories. One boy had started pulling out his eyelashes. Another developed severe test anxiety. The breakthrough came when Charlotte texted me, "Call me now." The school has security cameras in all counselor offices. District policy after that scandal last year, she explained breathlessly. The footage gets archived for 30 days. So there's video of what happened with me and Winters? Yes, and I know who can get it. My cousin Jake works in school security. He owes me a favor. That night, I received an email with a video attachment. There it was. Winters deliberately picking up her chair and hurling it at me, then immediately grabbing her phone to call security. The timestamp matched exactly when I was there. Got you, I whispered at my screen, forwarding the video to my newly created folder titled Winters Evidence. With the security footage in hand, I filed a police report first thing Monday morning. The officer at the desk seemed bored until I mentioned it involved a school counselor. We take incidents involving school staff very seriously. Detective Morgan will handle this. Detective Morgan turned out to be a no-nonsense woman with short gray hair and reading glasses on a chain. She watched the video 3 times. This is clear assault. Have you sought medical attention for your injury? Yes, I have the report right here. Good. I'd like to interview some of these other children whose parents reported issues. Would they be willing? I nodded. Melissa's daughter for sure. I can ask the others. The more testimony we have, the stronger the case. And let's dig deeper into her background. By Thursday, Detective Morgan had arranged interviews with 4 families at the police station. Leo was brave, describing the isolation chair in detail. She made me face the wall for 45 minutes last time because I corrected her about dinosaurs. Tina, Melissa's daughter, sat clutching her mom's hand. She says I'm a tattletale, that nobody will believe me because I make stuff up. After the kids' interviews, Detective Morgan pulled me aside. I've been looking into Winters' credentials. Her master's degree in counseling? The university has no record of her graduation. She faked her degree? How did she get hired? We're working on that. Someone dropped the ball on verification. The next day, I received an anonymous email. Meet me at Oakley Park, 5 p.m. Information about Winters. Reynolds. I recognized the name. Tim Reynolds, school board member. I brought Charlotte with me just to be safe. Reynolds looked nervous, constantly checking over his shoulder. I can't be seen talking to you, but you need to know. There were 6 formal complaints against Winters that Davis buried. Why would he do that? They're cousins. Davis got her the job after her issues at Lakeside. I need those complaints. He handed me a flash drive. Be careful. They're playing dirty. That became obvious the next day. My car's tires were slashed and someone had spray painted "liar" on my garage door. This has gone too far, Charlotte said, helping me clean up. You need to call Morgan. I was documenting the vandalism when Principal Davis called. Blair, this situation has gotten out of hand. Miss Winters is willing to offer a settlement. She'll resign quietly if you drop the charges. Drop the charges? After she assaulted me? After terrorizing my son? She's willing to pay your medical bills. We all just want this to go away. That's not happening. She doesn't just get to walk away from this. Be reasonable. Do you really want Leo dragged through a messy legal battle? Don't you dare use my son to manipulate me. She falsified her credentials. She's been emotionally abusing kids for years while you covered for her. This isn't going away. You'll regret this approach. Is that a threat? Because I'm recording this call? And Detective Morgan would be very interested in hearing you pressure the victim of an assault. He hung up abruptly. That evening, 3 more parents contacted me after hearing about the investigation. One mentioned their child had been recording sessions on a smartwatch. The noose was tightening around Winter's neck, and I wasn't backing down. The school board hearing was standing room only. Parents lined the walls, many holding signs supporting the kids. Detective Morgan sat beside me with 3 thick folders of evidence. Charlotte kept squeezing my hand as Miss Winters and Principal Davis entered with their attorney. "We'll begin with the allegations against Miss Winters," announced the board chairwoman, Mrs. Chen. "Miss Evans will present her evidence first." I approached the podium, my voice steadier than I expected. 2 months ago, Miss Winters threw a chair at me during a meeting about her treatment of my son. This wasn't an isolated incident. I played the security footage on the projector. Gasps filled the room when the chair clearly flew from Winters' hands toward me. Then I played audio from Leo and the other children. She tells me I'm too much, that normal kids don't act like me. She made me promise not to tell my mom about the timeout closet. Miss Winters shifted uncomfortably as Detective Morgan took over, presenting the falsified credentials. The University of Michigan has confirmed they have no record of Patricia Winters receiving any degree. Furthermore, her references were created using a fake email domain that routes to her personal account. Winters' attorney whispered frantically to her, but she suddenly stood up. "These children are manipulative attention seekers. They needed discipline. Their parents are enabling behavior problems." "Please control your client," Mrs. Chen warned the attorney. "They're all lying. That video was doctored. This is a witch hunt." "Miss Winters, you need to— And you!" She pointed at me. "You've turned everyone against me because your precious little brat couldn't handle being told he's not special." The room erupted. Winters knocked over the table, sending papers flying, and lunged toward me before security intervened. Mrs. Chen banged her gavel repeatedly. "This hearing is temporarily adjourned." 2 hours later, we reconvened without Winters, who'd been removed from the building. "The board has reached a unanimous decision," Mrs. Chen announced. "Patricia Winters' employment is terminated effective immediately. Principal Davis will be placed on administrative leave pending investigation into hiring practices and complaint suppression." 3 weeks later, Detective Morgan called with news. Winters has been charged with assault, credential fraud, and multiple counts of child endangerment. Davis is facing charges for obstruction and falsifying records. The district implemented mandatory credential verification and installed panic buttons in all counseling offices. They also created a transparent complaint process where parents could track resolution. "We need to make this bigger," I told Charlotte over coffee. "How many other schools have people like Winters?" That's how the Parents for Transparent Schools advocacy group was born. 27 parents joined at our first meeting. Leo was thriving with the new counselor, Dr. Patel, who specialized in gifted children. "She says it's okay to be smart," Leo told me. "She's teaching me how to help other kids without hiding who I am." When Winters pleaded guilty to avoid trial, I felt no satisfaction in her 3-year suspended sentence and lifetime ban from working with children. My victory wasn't watching her fall. It was seeing my son smile again and knowing no other child would suffer under her care. That's the end of Blair's journey to justice. What would you have done if you discovered a school counselor was telling your gifted child to dim their light to fit in better with other students? Would you confront the situation head-on like Blair did, or handle it differently? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story of a mother fighting for her son against a toxic school counselor, please hit that like button and subscribe for more revenge stories where toxic people get exactly what they deserve. New stories every day.